And we are now live. Hello there. Good evening, afternoon, or morning, depending on what part of the world you happen to be joining us. My name is Craig Peloquin, and my co-host,
Dennis Wilson.
It's great to see you all again. Welcome to our $1 Million Mastermind MLM training. And today, we're going to be kind of continuing on from where we left off last week. Do you want to recap?
Well, yeah, I think we have a couple of slides to bring up that'll help us to recap in a logical fashion. But last week was a little bit about why you need to have a list and why that's important. And then today's going to extend from there as to what you do if you don't have a list or you're pretending you don't have a list.
Well, that's right. So we're going to share with you a PowerPoint presentation. We're going to spend a little bit of time with you. You are able to throw some questions up in the chat room if you've got any questions. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share a little bit about if you don't have a list. And actually, I won't even see that, Dennis, because I'm going to be able to share the presentation with everybody.
All right.
So there we go. So our Millionaire Masterminds training, prospecting and approach techniques. We talked about building a list. We talked about using your warm market.
Yes.
But we know that some people say they don't have a warm market or they don't want to go into their warm market.
Who out there says that? Because we know you're lying.
Well, they can't see you.
Oh, they can't
I don't see the presentation right now.
Oh, man, I did such a good job too.
So I don't have a list. What do I do next? You still have to create one, like it or not. I mean, let's face it, Dennis. Have you ever met a 6 or 7 figure earner that didn't have a list?
No, but I've met an awful lot of them who say they're 6 or 7 figure earners and don't have a list.
Okay. You're going to have to create one in the cold market. This is your own. If you're not going to go warm market, if you're part of the NFL club, what does that stand for?
No friends left.
Or family.
Right.
Or family. And that means you've been involved in too many companies.
That's right.
You're going to have to create one in the cold market. So we talked last week about the hour-a-day system at houraday.com. And I truly believe that it's the best tool that you can use to help you create new leads as well as follow up in both the warm market and the cold market. And that's the key. Okay. Now, I have been working on LinkedIn for almost 3 years now, and I started LinkedIn with my current company, and I didn't have a LinkedIn account.
Right.
I didn't even know what LinkedIn was. I got all these people telling me I should go and be part of LinkedIn, and what is all that LinkedIn? And well, if you don't have an account, you need to start one today. Now, I'm just going to go and share something else here just for you guys for a second. I'm going to stop sharing my screen there so you can see us. So I didn't know what LinkedIn was. I saw, requests coming through my computer. This person wants to link in with me, and I thought it was a waste of time. I'd never done LinkedIn before. So I thought I'd take a look at it. So when I started working on LinkedIn, I was a complete newbie I had a Facebook account. I didn't have Google+. I didn't have LinkedIn. I didn't even have a Twitter account, I don't think, at that point.
Oh, my goodness.
So I went and I opened up a LinkedIn account. Now, LinkedIn is the business end. It's like your resume.
Yep.
So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, you need to create one.
Yes.
Now I'm going to go. I'll take you into LinkedIn. I'll share the screen. I'll show you what it looks like. And I learned some really effective ways that didn't work.
As we all do.
And when I found out what didn't work is everybody on LinkedIn just wants to connect with all these connections.
Yeah.
But none of these connections are meaningful.
No, and it happens not just in the MLM world, but the regular world.
It does.
I do networking events all the time, and as soon as I come back, I have 10 requests to link in. So I agree to all of them, and then I never hear from the people again.
Right. So what I figured is if I'm going to connect with somebody, wouldn't I want to then make that a meaningful connection?
Yes.
And a meaningful connection means as soon as we connected on LinkedIn, so I sent out a request to connect.
Which is always custom.
It
you
is.
Don't use the default LinkedIn connect with me, please, or it goes where?
It usually goes to spam, and then you end up getting your LinkedIn account.
That's right, yeah.
Because I don't know, you get too many I don't know. But we'll get into the details on that. But what I learned, for those of you that are on LinkedIn, I'm sure many of you are using it. You're just not using it effectively. Because what I learned is that once you make that connection, now the very first thing I did is I realized that LinkedIn had an app.
Yes.
Guess what I did? I downloaded the app. Now, why did I download the LinkedIn app? Because the LinkedIn app, everyone, LinkedIn, gives me push notifications when somebody connects with me.
Exactly.
I am instantly notified by email, but how many people check their emails now? Like at least right away? Like,
Well, I mean, for me, if I had my phone and notify me every time I got an email, I think I get about 2,700 emails a day.
yeah, how long would your battery last? How long would your battery last?
Yeah, most of them are spam.
So the most important thing for me was knowing when somebody LinkedIn. Now I wanted to know when somebody connected with me. So I set up my LinkedIn account so that when somebody connected with me, I got an in-app notification.
Yes.
And I got an email. The email goes to my Gmail account, which like you, I get thousands a day.
Yep.
But I always get that in-app notification. This is important for later on, everybody. In-app notifications when we talk about connecting in the cold market. So when I get my notification, if I can respond to that person by a LinkedIn message, that's like an in-mail for LinkedIn. If I can respond the same hour, the same minute that somebody connects with me with a meaningful, not a robotic connection, but a nice to connect with you. And usually that's how I start off. Nice to connect with you on LinkedIn, or thanks for connecting with me. And then I do a customized email.
And
does it take time?
Key. This is the key, everybody. Where it goes wrong is when you just use all the standard default stuff that LinkedIn has. You have to customize it. You have to say something that makes them realize you're a human, that you actually care. This is the key. And yet you talked about the follow-up instantly. It's no different when we sell MLM software. When I get a push notification through hour a day that someone's interested in MLM software, if I phone them in the next minute, I almost always make the sale if they're actually a qualified with money prospect. So you're bang on. It's not just an MLM thing, guys. Responding right away is just how the world works.
Because if I respond right away, guess what? They're probably still on LinkedIn.
That's right.
They probably still have my profile up.
Yep.
And I can then point to them and they're going to go, wow, this guy got back to me right away. Instead of I connect, somebody goes like this. They go on their phone and they go connect, 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 or accept, 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 and they forget it.
That's right.
But then when there's an instant notification that comes back, a message from you, not selling who you are,
That's right.
Not selling your services, not pushing them to Twitter or Facebook, okay? When you just go and send them back a genuine thank you for connecting with me. It's always nice to connect with another industry professional.
Yep.
Because typically I'm trying to connect with people that are in the industry of my MLM company, health and wellness, or I'm connecting with other MLMers.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with trying to connect with MLMs that have gone out of business in the last couple of years and people just haven't uploaded their profile yet.
That's always a good thing to do. So if you hear about an MLM and you could search on LinkedIn for these MLMs, search for past company, and put it in there.
There you go.
And all of a sudden they start showing up.
That's right.
So there's some really great things about LinkedIn, but the key, and I have enrolled so many people into my company as leaders through LinkedIn because I make a genuine connection first.
That's right.
I send them that email right away. And then I always follow up with their permission with a phone call.
Yes.
I want to try to get them on the phone. So my first email them is to say, look, I want to make a genuine connection. You probably connect with hundreds of people every month or thousands of people. How many people have you actually talked to?
Right.
How many people pick up the phone and actually call you? If their phone number is in their profile, just after I send the message, I'll pick up the phone and say, hi, this is Craig. We just connected on LinkedIn.
But Craig, come on, like, how do you lift it up?
That's heavy.
I mean, even with my bunker ring, I find sometimes that I can't get it off the table enough.
You were told that you could do everything online. You never have to talk to anybody.
I bought the course. The course, it was just $299, and it told me for sure I can just forget about lists. I can forget about calling, and I'm going to get rich. I mean, that's not true, Craig.
It's not true. Got to pick up the phone. Sorry, everyone.
Sorry.
Truth hurts.
That's it. Okay, we're done.
Quit. All right. Thank you.
Too hard.
But in all seriousness, if you do everything the same way that you've been doing it, you're not getting results, maybe you got to do something different. What's the definition of insanity?
Yeah, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Exactly. So what I did was something different. And the reason I did it different is I didn't know any other way. I created what I thought would be the best way to follow up with somebody.
I remember you calling me and saying, Dennis, how do I use LinkedIn? And I went, I have no idea. Usually you ask me and I tell you how to do these things. I had not touched it. I had not played with it. You were on your own. And I remember when you told me the system you're about to share, I was like, well, that's brilliant. I never would have thought of that. When you know too much, sometimes you go the wrong way.
So imagine now you're on LinkedIn. You're connected with somebody. You send them a genuine request. They respond back. You pick up the phone. You talk to them. So now I start selling my MLM, right?
Of course. You know, it's good. We got best compensation plan. Craig, it's the best.
You tell me about yours, I'll tell you about mine.
Oh, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll swap. Yeah, because then you'll be more interested in mine because it's better than yours, right?
Of course.
I mean, that works, right? I mean, that's how I made $1 million in MLM. I did that, right? Yeah, not.
So do not go out there in your first connection and try to hit a home run, okay? It's like dating, folks. You know what? You got to hold hands first. Then you maybe get some dinner. You might get a kiss, all right? You're not going directly to your place or mine. It's the same in the LinkedIn world in the cold market. You need to make a genuine connection. And everybody that I've successfully connected with on LinkedIn, it's not about me. It's not about my company, because guess what? They connected with you on LinkedIn. They know what company you're in. They have access to all your information because you've already set up your profile with all those details.
Right.
They know what you do.
But hang on, Craig, I'm a bit concerned because as you talk about this forming a genuine connection and stuff, it concerns me that you might, by accident, be teaching people how to do networking in any medium. LinkedIn, Facebook, the mall, the lineup at the bank, your friends.
Exactly.
Maybe you should just form a relationship first, get to know each other again, not vomit all over each other. I don't know that you're teaching anything special here. So I hope you got something better than the normal stuff you're supposed to be doing that no one does.
I'm telling you, everybody wants to have that magic pill.
And there's a lot of guys making money selling those.
See that magic pill there, everybody? It's invisible because it doesn't exist.
That's right.
So remember that. The magic pill is you need to go back to what you and I did 20 years ago, because 20 years ago, they didn't have the internet. That's right. Coming out, right? Didn't have Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, and we didn't have the ability to connect online, so we had to go and actually talk to people.
Well, you know, and what we did way back then, and I'd still recommend doing this today, is I remember I would load people up in my minivan, and we sort of did what you're doing, but a whole bunch of us would get into the van and we'd go to the mall, and we would just go and we'd cold prospect. And the pitch was the same every single time. Excuse me, you wouldn't want to join one of those MLM things, would you? And then we'd book them to a presentation in the food court, do the thing, and go from there. So you're kind of doing that in a more sharpshooting way without having to actually go face people and talk to people.
Well, I have a secret weapon. I do.
Oh.
I actually leverage you and your generosity. No, I do. I mean, you spent millions of dollars getting the hour-a-day system set up.
Right.
And right now, you're currently offering a free 30-day trial.
Yes.
Now, I know I bought the system. I'm using it. All the members in my company that are leaders that want to make money, they buy the system. They either buy it up front, they pay $300 a year up front, or they pay $30 a month.
Yep.
And you're offering $30 a month, a $30 a month subscription, free for 30 days.
That's correct.
So to me, that's a $30 bill. I don't think that they exist, but that's okay. That's a $20 bill and $10.
Right? Yeah.
That's a 20 and a 10 that I can go and use as leverage. And when I'm connecting with networkers, instead of me trying to sell them on my MLM,
you're giving them presents.
I do. I say, hey, look, I don't know if you're open or focused. Throw the question out. Are you open or focused? If somebody says they're focused, don't pitch your MLM.
Be friends for now.
Right.
Be professional.
Exactly.
Sorry, be professional.
Do you want people trying to push, sell, and convince you on their thing? No. Do you want to do a show yours or show me mine? It doesn't work. No. If you're focused and you meet somebody that's focused on their MLM company, make friends. Now you've got a long-standing friendship that happened because of that.
Way back when I did fax blasts, and I had great.
What's a fax?
A fax. Well, it's that big machine that used to sit on your desk, and you could put a piece of paper in it. And then what actually happened was over your telephone line, it delivered it to the person on the other side.
As long as they had one of those boxes.
Well, they had to have one of those boxes in the telephone too. So we would send them out. And I sat down to a meeting that was booked with someone who became my very good friend. And within about 5 minutes of talking to each other, we realized that I ain't pitching him, he ain't pitching me, and maybe we should be friends. So we agreed that day to be friends. And for 10 years, we were friends. And we never pitched each other on the business. We mentored each other. Certainly, we talked about our businesses. And maybe we were sort of hoping that the other guy would get interested or not. But eventually, it just became friends. And then actually 10 years later, I joined him in his business because mine went broke.
Right.
So it took 10 years.
Why did you choose him?
Well, because he was the guy that was my friend that was doing it and still doing it with the same company and making a bunch of money. So why wouldn't I choose him?
Exactly. So this is not a short-term, throw them up against the wall and hope they stick. This is building a long-term residual income. To get to $1 million, you've got to have people that are going to build and they're going to stick with your company and continue to build leaders, not losers. Or did I say losers? Did I use that term?
But Craig, I mean, it took me 10 years to get to $1 million in a year in this industry. Right? I mean, that's just too long. I mean, that's unreasonable. Why would I ever do that? You know what? Why would anyone do that? If it's going to take 10 years to make, $1 million in 12 months, then I think you should just not do it. Or you can do it right. And
were you making any money up to that point?
Well, of course I was making money up to that point.
Because, if I wasn't making any money up to that point.
Well, that would be a different story. But it would still be more than all of my friends combined just about made in that same 10 years.
Yeah, so, and I'm sure they all go, yeah, it took you 10 years to get there, right?
Did, and they told me, oh, yeah, but if you got the free car, then I guess there's no more free cars left. Yeah. Anyhow, sorry, we digress.
And by the way, everybody should buy one of those things at Staples. It's a rubber stamp with the word "next" on it.
That's right.
So when you get those idiots, just stamp them on the forehead. So if we see them walking down the street, we don't
just ignore them from the beginning.
We already know. So getting back to the LinkedIn.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter which social media. Let me bring back up our presentation here. It doesn't really matter which one we're talking about. First of all, start talking about LinkedIn. And as I said, get a free account. I never used until just recently because I finally got enough followers. I only used the free account. And the reason I only used the free account is that it was free and it was duplicatable.
That's right.
Okay?
Everyone can use something that's free.
All right. It helps you connect with like-minded people. The immediate follow-up is essential. And the faster you make a meaningful connection, the better. Now, I was going to log into LinkedIn, but then I realized that I'd be showing you the company and all my stuff, and we're not here to prospect. So I pretty much explained it. If you want to get in on LinkedIn and see a live LinkedIn account, I'm sure you're all part of LinkedIn anyways, or connect with us afterwards. We'll show you live LinkedIn, and we'll teach you how to set it up. Not too hard, okay?
Or what? How long does it take to just make a simple free account?
Oh, it's going to be, and right now, I would not trust that we'd be able to get on there fast enough.
No problem.
But we can do that for another time. That might be just a whole thing on its own, just going through LinkedIn.
Yeah, that would be probably good.
Because that probably is a whole training.
I think so.
Anyways, we also have Blab and we have Twitter.
Yes.
Okay? Email is dead.
Correct.
It's dead.
Yes.
Deader than dead.
Millennials have emails for one reason: to sign up to Facebook, which is now passé. So it's not to sign up to Facebook, it's to sign up to Instagram or Snapchat, and then it's never used again. So if you're only email marketing, so we're not saying email marketing is no good anymore, but you're going to miss a whole demographic. So emails are becoming less and less relied on, whereas push notifications, most people, I think the last poll said people look at them 95% of the time within 5 seconds.
Yeah. So if you don't already have an account, get the Hour a Day account. We talked about it. Go to houraday.com. There's a 30-day free trial. Get that, because your social connect feature that you created on there, and I'm going to bring that up. I actually have that in the back. I'm going to bring that up. Integrates Twitter, and Twitter links to Blab and all the live stuff. And I've been having a blast with this.
Yeah.
I just absolutely love it. Let me just go now and let me stop sharing that, and let me just share the internet with everybody. And go into Hour a Day. So in houraday.com, you're looking at real people, real prospects. Don't call them their money. And people that are part of it. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go into the Social Connect feature. Okay? So over here, we have Social Connect. I'm going to go into the Social Connect feature, and it connects to my Twitter account.
Correct.
Now, it allows me to import any of my new followers that I haven't already imported. So if I click Import Followers, once again, everybody, these are my followers. Connect with them, and it's fine. You connect with them, prospect them. All you want. These are real people.
Open.
Okay? So don't worry about it. Now, you're going to see in this the people that if I'm already following them or they're following me. Okay, so these are my followers, and these are the people that I'm following. So it's now literally my whole Twitter account is inside hour a day. This is what I love about it. So if I see somebody that is following me, so these are my followers. So if I see Alvin here, and I can see all about Alvin, and I can see his latest tweets, and I can add him right into my contacts, and I can put him into, are you ready for this? I can put him into a follow-up campaign. Now, I meet most of my people on Blab,
right,
for Twitter, because that's what I use. So I created a Blab follow-up campaign.
And what I would do is I would have your Blab follow-up campaign. And then, you know, anyone who's playing with Twitter or social media knows that there's all these people out there calling themselves social media experts, but they're actually MLMers trying to convince people to connect with them to then pitch them MLM. So if you know this, then what you really should do is you should start to make yourself a couple of categories so that all the people that start following you that are in MLM, you can categorize them as proud MLMers. So to me, the way I would market the way I would market to someone who's right out there saying, I'm in network marketing, or I'm in company A, company B, company C, is going to be different than the guy that's playing one of those games because he paid $299 for a course. They're usually easily spottable because you're going to see them telling you that they're going to help you get 1 million followers and they're going to have 26. So usually you can spot them. So you put them on a different list because you know what? You can probably sell them stuff because obviously they're buying someone's junk. And slowly get them. So I would actually break up your whole following into a number of different categories, because then you can follow up with them separately and custom based upon the kind of thing they appear to be doing.
And once you've done that in your category, you can see all the different categories you can make. You can make your own custom ones or use the ones that are there. So I actually have a Blab category, and then I import them as a contact. Now here's the cool thing. Look, there's my first direct message that I'm going to go and send to Alvin. And guess what? It is an automated message, but I'm going to customize it.
And this is, again, the key to social media working is if you have Twitter and you have all these Autobots that are replying, my recommendation, if you want to start winning on Twitter, turn all that crap off. Because if my personal assistant ever sends me a message from someone who's using an automatic responder when I actually do when I follow them and they immediately tell me to go meet with them on Facebook, which I still don't get, but that's a whole nother conversation. If my personal assistant brings me this kind of garbage, then I'm going to fire them. But if on the other hand, someone actually responds with what Craig's about to do, which is to say, Alvin, I love the picture of the Social Mania
logo. Go to their website. There you go. You can go check them all out. You can check out their different websites. All these things are available when you're going through it. Send them a custom message. I like your website. I like what you did. I like the purple.
And be careful when it's custom. Don't say, I liked your website. I liked what you did, because that could be an autoresponder. I went to your website. I loved the shade of purple you used.
Right. So here's Steven's, for instance. So if we go here to Steven's website, and he's a digital cat herder. All righty, that's really
let's call him up, because we could probably get him better success by teaching him the things he's doing wrong.
Right, but there's Steven, and he's in Minneapolis. Okay, so it's he's using an About Me as his webpage. That's going to be a little bit harder to go.
But what I would do with him is I see that Social Mania thing, and that's sticking out like a sore thumb. So I would comment, hey, Steven, that Social Mania logo is really cool, and that tweet about it's cool. Tell me more about that. Right.
I can go right into his Twitter profile so I can find out more. All of this is right here in my hour-a-day site. So I've got everything that I could possibly need or want right here at my hands.
Right in your fingertips.
And now I can follow up. I can have then the social media series. What I love about this, Dennis, is that now when I go back to my home button and this puts my action list, you're going to see all these social series. These are people that are ready for a reminder of the webinar training.
Yep.
And send it all out to them, take action, send, and I'll send it out to them about the next possible thing that they can come out and check out.
And in this case, because the buttons are all in the same spot, you can actually rapid fire, just go send, 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 send. So if you're not going to customize it, you can still do it in a semi-automatic way. And this is actually to do, we don't do this because it's impossible to do completely automatic in the background. But actually when you do, we have to time delay it anyway. So because Twitter doesn't allow it.
Right.
So when we actually have you do it in a semi-automated way, it's actually better for the Twitter API. It's way better for you because it's going to make you resist the urge to automatic blast, which doesn't work that well. Right. There's cases where it's a good thing, lots of cases where it's a bad idea.
Right.
But yeah, anytime you can customize that message a little bit to make sure it came from a human, you're going to watch your engagement skyrocket, and you're going to start conversations, which is the whole point.
That is the whole point. And of course, I have downloaded the Twitter app on my phone, so I know when people are contacting me on direct message to me on Twitter. Because I'll answer a direct message on Twitter faster than I'm going to answer an email or even a text message.
Yeah. Well, because it's really interesting, right? So really what Twitter is that most people don't get. Twitter, now that you're allowed to send direct messages to people, whether they follow you or not, and I'm not recommending you curate a list of people that aren't following you. Have some common courtesy, and if they follow you, then you add them to a series and follow up. Even though the system will let you do it to people that don't follow you. If you focus on the people that are following you, your engagements will be considerably higher, your effort will be considerably less. So use the Twitter tool to engage those people to the point where they follow you back. Once they're following you back, then you curate them as a follower onto a list. Don't recommend curating people who don't follow you and then blasting them with direct messages. You're just going to tick them off. Form that relationship first.
Yeah.
Use the tool to form the relationship. Use the tool to blow a kiss. Use the tool to introduce it to your friends with a retweet.
Well, connect in different ways too. I mean, if we go back to, let me share the screen again. If we go back into my hour a day, you know, you've also set up different, so you could set up different email campaigns, text message campaigns. Go send somebody something on Facebook, a reminder of that. LinkedIn, you can set it up to follow up on LinkedIn. Now, those you have to do a two-step process because
a bit more manual.
But their API isn't like Twitter that lets you do it in. But what's really cool is maybe you just want to go and send an email out to everybody. You know, maybe you want to do that.
Well, maybe you want to go send an email only to the people who followed you on Blab. Or maybe you want to send an email to the people who followed you on Blab and live in Vancouver. And depending on how you've handled your categories, you'd be able to actually do that.
You can. When you go to your email group, you can go and you can find out what you can have prepaid, pre-set up emails. You can load in. There's all your types of contacts. You can click, I only want the ones that are on Blab. And I also, they are on, say they're in my client or they went to this event. However you decided to set it up.
And remember, that's very important because it's actually this part down here that does all the work. So you can pick whether you want the 5 categories you pick to be everybody in any of those 5 categories, or you can say, I only want to send to the people that are in all 5 of those categories.
Yeah.
So that slicing and dicing data engine right there is ridiculously powerful.
Well, and the other thing that I like about it is that you can set the follow-up when you want them to come back up into your homepage and follow up again. Yeah. So if you're talking about maybe you're sending out an email blast, because now remember, this is not spam. These are your prospects.
That's right. Double opted in.
Exactly. And maybe you want to talk to them in 6 days. Again, is the next time that you want to make sure you contact them, or maybe it's 3 days, or 3 days.
And the reason we added that feature is what I found happening is I would do an email blast, and then I'd go and call a couple of people that were on my list to call today, and they'd be like, I just got your email. Why are you calling me? So that feature was added so that you can send an email blast, and then you can put anyone that was on your calling list off for a couple of days, just in case you didn't want to hit them on the same day that you sent out an email.
Yeah. Now, I can do really cool HTML emails on here, right? That's what I should do, and I should make it really
You should add as many pictures as possible. You should maybe go get some cool templates. Actually, we include a bunch. So you should definitely not use templates unless you want to have very low engagement. Again, templates are great. They sell email companies a ton of pieces of email software to do your emailing for you. But every chance you get, you should avoid a template like
the plague.
The plague.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when was the last time you got something that was all beautiful templated email that you actually engaged back with?
Right.
Compared to a quick note from your friend or a quick note from somebody that was not all pretty. At most, it might have bold. It probably even has a typo.
Probably. Definitely has probably punctuation and capitalization mistakes.
Grammar issues.
Yeah, right? It does. Because if you're going to write an email to a friend, do you really care? You want to get them the information. You're cutting and pasting a link maybe for them. That's a lot of times when I'm sending somebody something. Here, quick, go on this link. It'll automatically hyperlink, go there, and done.
That's right. So the key to all your follow-up communications is you got to strike that balance. And everyone thinks that going full template graphical emails looks professional. And you're absolutely right. And you will professionalize yourself right out of ever getting a prospect.
It's true. Well, think about it. When's the last time you answered a perfect HTML email full of color? Actually, when's the last time you actually opened it up so you could see the pictures?
Even see the images.
Because the images are blocked by your inbox unless you actually want to see them. And so that's a second step process to do. And then you know it's somebody trying to sell you something.
That's right.
Because your friend didn't go and tell you, hey, look at this, really trying to sell you something. Look, you want to send out an email. I purposely, on any email series, I purposely put typos in it.
I do, well, and I put cheeky emails in. So I make a perfectly good email series that maybe on my third email was, Craig, just dashing out the door, but I found this cool article that you might be interested in, and I wanted to share it with you, and I make sure there's a typo in there, because if I was truly just dashing out the door, there's a pretty good chance there'd be a typo in there. So I combine sort of proper messaging with little quick things that sound like I was thinking of the person, and sent some kind of a communication or some kind of an article or a blog posting that I think they'll be interested in. It's all preset, but again, it's a combination of well-written, carefully thought out with quick dashed off stuff, just like it would be if you were talking to your friend or a new prospect in the real world.
Exactly.
So the key to good automation, Craig, is not being detected.
Exactly. It's undetectable automation. Even though at the bottom it says unsubscribe.
People don't read to the bottom. Who cares?
I'm just saying, you do know it's automation, everyone.
That's
It
right.
says unsubscribe.
That's right.
But, you know, a lot of people don't check that out. So, you know, the reason and we do talk about hour a day this way is, you know, it was designed by MLMers
For
MLMers.
Correct.
It wasn't designed by somebody that thought they knew about MLM. I mean, I put a lot of help and input into designing it with your effort. I mean, together we've got over 40 years combined MLM experience. We both earned over $1 million a
We're
year.
only 27. How's that possible?
Yeah, we're both liars. Hang on, this is MLMers and liars?
That's right.
Yeah, you always taught me that. But in all seriousness, everybody, you know, this is it's something that works.
Yep.
And we're here to give you ideas. We're not asking you for money.
No.
It's free right now.
Yeah.
Try it. If we're wrong and you don't like it, don't renew your subscription. You don't even ask for a credit card for the 30-day free trial.
No, and you know what? I don't really even care if you get a free trial of an hour a day. The point of this training is, if you're going to use LinkedIn and Facebook and all of this, you need something to get you organized with.
Yes.
Right? Hootsuite is fantastic, but Hootsuite allows you to schedule, but you have to go and reschedule all the time. And it doesn't allow sort of an autoresponder dripping type of concept. So there's a ton of tools out there, but we just think that with the way the hour a day combines, you know, the email autoresponder concept to allow you to sort of use it with the social media places, it's just a good way to go. So I don't really care what tool you use. The message here is that you use these things, and the number one most important part of all of this is, if you're going to use Twitter, if you're going to use LinkedIn, if you're going to use Facebook, go make friends first.
Yeah.
And then give something of value. Like as Craig said, he's using the hour a day system because I give a 30-day trial. He tells people, hey, you can have a free 30-day trial. And when they get to the website, sure enough, they can. The fact that everyone can doesn't mean anything. He found a good tool and let them try it. He sends blog entries. He sends stuff that's relevant. And again, the more you micro target your list, the more you can now send stuff that's uber relevant to these people. So if a guy's a super social media thing, he loves social media, and you approach him in a you love social media manner, you're going to become friends over social media. He's probably going to eventually try to pitch you his deal. You might, you know, start to pitch your deal. But if you don't start with that aggressive stance, you're more likely to win in the end, right? If you start by vomiting on him, he's going to vomit on you.
Yeah.
If you don't start by vomiting on him, there's a good chance he won't, and you'll actually get somewhere in a conversation to where things can go. But if you're not using some kind of a tool like hour a day, you're going to forget all about them in the hundreds and hundreds of things you do.
Yeah.
But imagine if hour a day told you, hey man, it's been 14 days since you had that good conversation with Fred. You need to do something with Fred. And you go, great, I better go send him another direct message because that's where we're meeting him. So you just got to sort of change your thinking a little bit to realize that this is going to help you to keep everything under control. It's going to remind you when you need to follow up with Fred again, maybe outside. Because remember, automation's great, but as soon as a conversation starts, you can't keep that automated anymore.
No.
Now you need to actually go, hang on, he said something, and if I don't talk to him for a week, I'm a bit of a boob. And if I respond with an autoresponder that isn't relevant to our conversation, I'm a bigger boob. So you got to be a bit careful when you're using automation and semi-automation. You got to stay on top of it. So whatever tool you're using, we think Our Day is the best. You got to use something that's going to help you keep on top of who you said what to, what you need to say next, where you're at in the conversation. Yeah. Otherwise, all your efforts for nothing if you're not going to follow up with it for the next 6 months to a year in a meaningful way.
So I mean, and let's talk about that. You were just talking about Facebook, and you know, Facebook is not just for family and friends. I used to think it was. It's not.
No, in Japan, I'll tell you, everyone uses Facebook in business because they don't use LinkedIn.
Right, but make friends first.
Make friends first. Common theme here tonight: make friends first. Oh, they can't see me again.
So don't try to sell it. Don't try to sell on Facebook. No. Share good content. You know, don't have every pitch about or every post about your product and how much you love it and try to buy it and this and that and your website URL. Post good content. But now, it takes me to somewhere. What if you're not going to do that? What if you don't like social media? What if you're not going to do it? Okay, it's going to be hard. Okay, so you know, I don't want to go on. I don't want to go on LinkedIn. I don't want to do this. I still want to curate a list. What's another thing I can do? I can go to networking events. We do this.
And you know what? To me, and this is something that nobody ever wants to hear, but the reality is LinkedIn work, Facebook work, Twitter work is all considerably slower than going to live networking events and getting to know new people where you can make that real connection. Live networking events, making your list from new people you meet that are out doing stuff, that are upwardly mobile.
Yeah.
The minute you go to a networking event, even if you go to a networking event, you think, oh, these are all low-end people. They're a lot higher end people than the people that aren't at the event.
You know what I do from there too? Most networking events and that end up, where do they usually end up posting all the stuff that happened in the pictures of the event?
Facebook.
They put it on Facebook.
Or Twitter.
Yeah.
If it's a real businessy one, usually Twitter works.
Right.
But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's all on Facebook.
So what a great way to say I was at the event. Now you've got a conversation going on your Facebook and on your Twitter and on your LinkedIn. Friends. And you made friends and you met them there. And your picture's now up there. You were at the event. That's right. Take pictures. I know this sounds silly, but
take pictures.
Take lots of pictures. Put your face out there.
Take pictures, check in.
Yeah.
Do stuff that make people see that you're a pretty interesting person to be involved with. Wow, that Craig guy's all over the place. Maybe if I'm finally ready, I should go talk to Craig. Be Craig.
Well, you know, it's really funny because on the weekend, or on the last Thursday and Friday, I had to go to Miss Asia pageant. That was really terrible. It was terrible. I posted the pictures. What a tough life it was. All these bikinis. Somebody's got to do it.
I saw that butt shot. There was a lot of them. There was a very butt.
Somebody has to do the job.
That's right.
Okay? Somebody. So, you know, so that's one way to do it. You got to get out there. You got to go to social events. Okay, what if I don't want to do any of that? What if I don't want to talk to people? What if I got money but no time?
Oh, well, then you should definitely get into an ad co-op.
Oh, an ad co-op.
Or do advertising yourself.
Funny you should say that.
Oh.
Should I buy leads?
No. Well, actually, hang on. How much money you got?
Okay.
To donate to the guy selling you the leads.
But maybe you could talk a little bit about shares in an ad co-op and how that works at Our Day and why that would work even though you don't represent one specific company.
Well, I mean, ad co-ops are an interesting thing, and lead purchase and all of this is an interesting thing. I have found that the people that make the most money with purchased leads are usually the person selling them. There's just no question about that. And it's not always their fault. Part of the problem with our industry today is everybody's praying for the magic bullet. Did you find it yet? I know you were looking. You thought you had it, but there is no magic bullet. And the reality is when you're buying 25-cent leads, they're garbage. The only person making money is the guy who sold them to you. You're never going to get anywhere with them. You might feel good because you got 1,000 of them for $250, but you shouldn't. Because a really, really good lead is going to cost between $25 and $50. And if you're buying a really, really good lead between $25 and $50, you should be signing up 1 out of every 2 or 3 leads. Now, the reason why $50 leads are better is because they're actually properly generated and curated for something very close to what you do. So if you're going to get into $25 and $50 leads, what you're actually better to do is get into a system like Hour a Day, or pick another one. I don't want to make it sound like we're just selling that one. And then get into an ad co-op. So that means they generate traffic to your sales funnel, whatever it may be. So in Hour a Day system, everyone can set their sales funnel up the way they want it. We're generating generic traffic looking for people in general MLM. And that means if you screw your funnel up because you bought some other guy's course that tells you to do it differently than us, you're going to get way less leads than the people who do it our way. But on the other hand, you might know something we don't. We don't box you in. You can set your funnel up the way you want. We're just going to deliver traffic. How much of that traffic go through and turn into a lead is up to you. But here's the number one thing that I recommend that anybody out there does when you're in an ad co-op. I recommend that the second an ad co-op lead comes in, you pick up the phone and call them. Yes, I know it's heavy, especially if you have the extra large size one, but you need to pick up the phone and start making friends, Craig. I've watched so many people pay so much into ad co-ops, and I see the leads streaming into their back office, and I see the autoresponders going out, and I see absolutely nothing happening. And then the people say, I bought into the system and it didn't work, Craig. It didn't work.
Didn't work.
I got all these leads and only 2 guys joined and they refunded out right away.
Yeah.
So then I always ask the question that's painful.
How many did you pick up the phone and talk to?
Yeah. And then they're like, huh?
Oh, I thought this system did it all for you.
They told me that I could just pay money and it would all happen. Folks, if it was that easy to just pay money and have it all happen, nobody would fail in MLM.
We wouldn't actually be doing this. We wouldn't have to. We'd be
out of business.
Well, we'd be sitting there doing it ourselves.
Well, that's true, actually.
Yeah, we just,
we just
set it, forget it, and you wouldn't need to talk to us, and we wouldn't need to, we'd be drinking all day.
Maybe we should start selling that. Okay, everybody, we've decided to change the format of the training. Send us $10,000, we'll do it for you. Oh wait,
in the bar.
5,000?
In the bar.
2,000? Today only.
50 bucks. So there, if we could just kind of get back to the basics, there are systems out there. You need a list. What we're talking about, get back to what we started about here at the beginning. You got to have a list. If you don't want to build a warm market list,
go make a new list.
You're going to fail. Okay. So let's say you don't do that. You're going to fail anyways. You need to build a cold market list. If you're not going to do that, you're going to fail.
Yeah, so don't join unless you love the products. Then don't pretend.
That's right.
Join, love the products.
Be a happy customer.
And don't keep telling your upline you're going to start doing it next week.
Exactly.
Just tell the truth. I'm never going to build a business. I don't have a warm market. I don't want to build a cold market. I don't have any money. I just like the products. Tell him. Please tell him. He will appreciate you for it.
And that's okay.
It's okay.
It is.
We have lots of happy customers.
Everybody that likes my products is fantastic. That's great. That's what drives MLM. Happy customers.
Happy customers keep us a residual income.
Yeah, that's where billion dollar companies are made. That's where $1 billion incomes are made.
That's correct.
We got lots of happy customers.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's great, but be honest with yourself.
Yes.
If you're going to do this and you want to make 6 or 7 figures, you're going to have to do some things. And we're just telling you the things that are necessary. You can fight it all you want. You can say no. You can disagree with us even.
You know what? You're going to need to learn skills you don't have. And you're going to need to forget some bad habits that you do have. Just like when you started any job, isn't it amazing how everyone always has that experience where somebody tells them, hey, you know what? People don't really like the way you're doing that here because you're doing it the way you did it at your old job. So when you get a new job, you always have to forget some stuff. You always have to adapt to some stuff. So we're not asking you to do something weird in MLM. This is just how it works. Oh, and let's address but MLM tells you have to leave all your friends behind. Well, hang on, that's not really what it says. What tends to happen with MLM is you start to make a little extra money, and pretty soon when you're with your friends, they want to go to a restaurant that you don't really want to go to, or you want to order a nicer wine than they want to do. And that's exactly the same as when you get a promotion at work or when you switch companies to a higher paying job. Some of our friends go by the wayside. It's not because they're not friends. It's because our lives change, their lives change. So we're not saying you lose your friends. You just need to be cognizant that life moves on as you go through this journey and you increase your income.
And just lastly, to follow up on that, an ad co-op can generate more traffic as a group than you can possibly do as an individual because it's not linear.
It's not linear. Yeah, if you spend $100 on an ad in your local newspaper, the number of leads you're going to generate doing that You know, even if you said you spent $100 and you got 2 leads doing it yourself. If you spent $10,000, you're not going to get a multiple of that. You're actually going to get considerably more. It's more of a geometric progression, more fuzzy.
No, that's just because we came back in and out. So we're going to in and out. And don't you love the auto focus, folks? There we go. Sometimes you got to give it a kick.
Literally a kick. Let's try that.
Come on. You can do it with the extra light. Put us out of focus. And got to do it the hard way. Sorry, everybody. Sometimes you literally got to give the thing a kick.
It just doesn't like it.
It doesn't want to focus on me today. Now look at that. All
Go back to
righty.
the slides. Then they can't see our fuzzy faces.
Okay. Anyways, let's go back then and share then one last thing on the hour a day. So if you go in here, I'll just share with you guys the website. Check it all out at houraday.com. It is available for you on any smartphone. So you've got apps and the accompanying app that goes with it for the iPhone or for Android. And you can learn about the ad co-op that Dennis was just talking about right here. Great little tool here, the MLM Secret.
This is another one of the freebies that you can hand out.
Yeah.
Send a link to this to someone that's in MLM that you're just becoming new friends with. It doesn't say anything about your company. It says, hey, have you seen this tool? Have you seen how this guy shows leverage? That guy happens to be me, but this all goes to Greg Stewart, our mentor. He's the one that showed this to me. All I did was make the video and voice it over.
Yeah.
But, you know, these are the kind of things that you want your first 5 or 10 connections to be. Hey, you want a free trial of this cool hour-a-day system? You know, I know these guys that introduced it to me. You can give it away to your people too. Here's a link to a cool video that helps describe leverage. Hey, have you seen the blah, blah, blah blog that has all this generic MLM? Have you joined the houraday.com MLM training newsletter that's free and not pitching you on joining any MLM? Find a bunch of free stuff that's good, that doesn't pitch on something else. For sure, follow it through yourself, because if you start making suggestions on things that eventually turn into a pitch to an MLM, you're going to kill your credibility.
Yeah.
So find legitimate good stuff and share those things with people while you create that friendship.
See if we can. Oh, look at that. Now we're back. Now we're back in being. Oh, hey, we're back in focus. So you know what? That gives you an idea. The list is important. You know, we spent 2 full hours last week and this week on a list: warm market and cold market. And it is that important. And it's important that you teach your new members that want to build a team that it's important.
Yes.
If we didn't think it was important, we'd be telling you, don't worry about a list.
That's right.
You know, just get out there and buy leads and you become rich. You know, but you need to do a combination of everything that we've been talking about. And then you need to follow up, because all this stuff doesn't do you any good if you don't pick up.
And remember, a live networking event, you can get to the point of a real connection. Meeting at a live networking event, having a coffee 2 days later, you're probably 9 touches ahead of the game by doing that.
Yeah. Oh, and then one thing about
instead of LinkedIn or something where you're going to touch them and touch them and touch them and touch them and touch them to get to where you have a real connection, a live networking event can shortcut things dramatically.
And the cool thing is you've got the accompanying app for hour a day.
Yep. So
there's push notifications. Remember how important to talk about push notifications? And you've got that really cool business card scanner capture thing. So when you're at a live event, what's the worst thing that happens? You go meet all these people, you collect these cards, and then you take all these cards out of your pocket when you get home, and you have this big stack, and you put them on the desk, and then they slowly move themselves to the middle of the desk, into the edge of the desk, then off the desk, and into the circular filing cabinet.
Yep.
And because you know you got to enter them. You've got on the app, you can take a picture of it, and you've got a live transcription service that'll literally write all the information down, put it in your contact list, and send out the first email. Yes. I mean, that is so cool. When I'm at networking events and 30 seconds, 60 seconds, or a few minutes later, 5-10 minutes later, they get that first email from you, and you're still at the event. They're like,
and remember, the key to that first email is it needs to be customized very specifically with the event you've met them at.
Yeah.
Because if you just say, hey, great meeting you at the event the other day, because that's what's easy for you, your engagement rate goes to nothing and your respect level drops. If on the other stand, it's Great to meet you at the Small Business BC Awards ceremony at the Pan Pacific Hotel in Vancouver last night. Now, just by doing that, and of course you're sending that to everyone, but they don't feel like that anymore. Now they feel like that was written specifically for them.
Yeah. And you made it so simple. The tools is sitting on your way to an event. You're literally editing it to put the new one in. You can go event after event.
Yep.
So use the tools. Remember, automation is not your friend, but it is if you semi-automate it.
Yes.
So semi-automation is your friend. Follow-up is key. That's where most people fail.
And follow up with the phone. Your whole goal is to get enough of a relationship going, even on social media, to get to a phone number. Because when you get to the phone number and you actually reach out and you hear each other's voices, a little piece of magic happens. And again, that's old-fashioned to say phone. I don't care if it's phone. I don't care if it's Skype that you're talking on. I don't care if it's Facebook by voice. Get to a point of having a voice conversation. If you can get to a video conversation, it just ups.
I mean, think about it, Dennis. It's like a relationship.
That's right.
What's the goal when you meet somebody for the first time? The goal is to get her phone number.
That's right.
Your goal is the same thing. You can't go any further without getting her phone number first and having a conversation.
Correct.
Goals to get the phone number. Same thing here. So think of social media like starting a relationship. You're not going to get to the, let's go to your place or mine right off the bat. You got to hold hands first, got to get a phone, got to have some conversations. You got to maybe go on a few dates, and maybe you got to go and have dinner, and you got to talk. You got to share about you. They're going to share about them. You're going to have this conversation, and then eventually, if it works out, they join you because it's right, and it's a match made in heaven. So you got to get the phone number first.
And if you've curated your lists properly and you've done enough with categories and stuff, regardless of the CRM you're using, so that you can realize, oh, you know what? Something just happened in Oklahoma that made the news in Vancouver. I'm going to send a quick email blast out to everyone in MLM in Oklahoma on my list that says, my gosh, I hope you guys are doing okay. By having your data and having it properly curated and having enough metrics to be able to drill down on it, you get to the point where you can start reaching out to 150 people in an extremely personal way from their point of view, right? And it's personal because you're thinking about them because you saw the article and you thought to do it. But that's really the key. The more touches, the more reasons you can have to reach out in a way that isn't, hey, I want you to join my business, the more chances are they're going to turn around and come to you and say, you know what, I'm ready. I really want to know what you do because like you're just switched on and cool, and I've enjoyed getting to know you.
So the secret is anybody you want to enroll, you do not tell them what you do, what company you're in, or your products. The more you don't tell them about what you're doing and you find out about what their needs, what they're looking for, they're going to come back and become curious. I mean, yesterday I was on a blab yesterday morning, early my time. It was at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific Coast lab. That was a lot of fun.
I don't even know what that is.
And usually I only see 7 a.m. if I'm still at the poker table. So anyways, I digress again. And we're just going to finish up here because we're getting on to the top of the hour here. But, where was I? Now I lost I was thinking about, blab. I was on a blab. And I had, there was over 130 people that came onto that blab. And many of them were asking me on the side, ask questions. So tell me, what MLM are you with? What company are you with? And I'm like, and I'm telling them, look, I'm not here to promote my MLM. I'm here talking to somebody else's blab. They asked me to be a guest speaker.
Yeah.
I'm corporate with an MLM. If you want to know, go on I'm the only Craig Peloquin. Go look at my social media profile. Yeah. You can find out everything about me. Click on it. There's a magazine on it. If you really want to know what I do, direct message me on Twitter afterwards. Yep. And we can have a conversation. But you know what? People are curious. They're sitting there going, how do you find out what he's doing? What's he doing? Why isn't he telling me?
But hang on, Craig. If they went to your Twitter profile and they saw that you were a lifestyle engineer, coffeeaholic, and alcohol guru.
Oh no, second income specialist.
And the second income specialist, that'll make them far more interested in just telling them the name of your company and what you do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I
think so.
Yeah, stop hiding from it. Be proud of it. Most people, when you say, hi, I'm with ABC Network Marketing Company, they're going, what's that?
Yeah.
Don't assume everyone hates MLM. You didn't. And don't assume that everyone knows that the name of your company is an MLM. Go to a business networking event and stand up and say, I'm with Amway. That might not work out so good for you. But if you mention just about any other company name, most of the people in the room are going to be like, okay.
But it's a good way to clear a full hot tub at a resort. Anyways, everyone, hope you got something out of this. We're here every week. Tell your friends about it. Use this to build your business, build your connections. Offer what we do every week. It's free, no cost right now.
Never be prospecting.
Ask for free tickets. Typically, if you're coming here live in person, like many people are on the other side. Hey, everyone. It's $25 a ticket, and you can come.
You can bring
three people with it. Yeah. And I think that it should be giving away some online tickets for free. If you ask for it, you need some online tickets.
If you let us know that you need a couple of webinar tickets, just let us know, right? We're long-term greedy. We're going to get you hooked on the information, then we're going to charge you.
There you go. So everyone, have yourselves a fabulous week.
And go do something. Follow up, reach out, make some new connections, make some new friends so that you can come back next week going, wow, it works. And it works because you did.
Make it a goal to have the most of your team and your connections on the next webinar.
There we go.
There you go.
Imagine that. Great. We'll train your people for you.
Hey, you know what? I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to do this because it's not my software and I'm not paying for it. If you have the most people as a guest on the webinar, because when they enroll for the webinar, so this is how they know.
Yeah.
You give them an extra month of hour a day for free.
We'll do that. We'll do that. And you know what? Let's go one step further. If you bring 5 people, so if you win with the most and it's at least 5, I'll give you a whole year for free.
Well, there you go. You heard it right from the horse's mouth.
Minimum of 5 with you on the webinar or in person. I'll give you an entire year, $299 worth of free software. If someone didn't bring 6 or 7, whoever brings the most, as long as it's at least 5, I'll give away a whole year.
So when they actually register for the webinar, they got to just use your name because it asks. How'd you find out about it?
There you go.
You're the most. That's a $299.
Yeah, why not?
That'll be a lot of fun. Okay, I know. I'm getting some people on.
There you go. If you brought them, well, hang on. I'm getting some people on there. You guys got some more work to do.
All right, everybody.
Good night.
Have yourselves a good night. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week.